Nigel Farrell and Reza Mohammed are about to open the first Indian restaurant in the Ardèche region of southern France. They've tried out their new chef and the results are disappointing.
The cooking of the chicken, it's
a bit dry.
Yeah.
Nigel visits a local circus to try and borrow an elephant in a desperate attempt to publicise the restaurant. But it looks like their PR stunt may go disastrously wrong. And with only 3 days to go before opening, their friend Christian, who's helping them set up the restaurant, reveals so far that they've had no bookings at all.
I cannot believe that not one single friend of hers has said, I'll book a table for next Wednesday. Not a single person has done that.
It's mid-July in the Ardèche, and with temperatures soaring daily to an average of over 40 degrees centigrade, the tourist season is at its height. After the disappointing tasting, Reza has decided to take drastic action. He flies over his own head chef, Brinda, from his London restaurant to advise the less experienced Edward in the kitchen of L'été Indien. They've already brought in a young assistant chef, Jamal, to help out.
Remember, Edward, everyone's becoming health conscious and food colors are no good. Don't use natural colors. This is natural, very nice color with green coriander. Try to use natural ingredients.
Forget the color, get the taste in.
You know, the thing is, if you see the color, it puts me off. So you're not making it appetizing, you're making it unappetizing.
Don't put any red coloring. And I don't want to see that pot you had of that powder. It's out of this kitchen, it's forbidden. There's so many ways you can sort of combine your spices, but without being sort of blinkered and limited.
So this is complete now?
Okay.
So what we got?
Now they're able to cost out in detail the ingredients of the revised menu. Nigel can put the finishing touches to his financial projections.
You can keep the skin for the cat.
He and Reza have each put in £10,000 to start up L'été Indien.
This is just for the first fortnight I'm doing now.
Nigel is now working out a precise prediction of the day-to-day running costs.
€25, which that's profit.
What they need to find out is exactly how many meals they must sell each day to break even.
390 divided by 14. We've got to sell 27 meals a day to keep afloat. 27 meals a day.
Over the last few weeks, Nigel has been amassing the dozens of items of paperwork he requires for the formal handing over of the restaurant business from Christian Touchou to himself. Until it's officially registered in his name, Nigel is not allowed by French law to utilise the restaurant bank account. If he can't sort it out quickly, the whole project could be thrown into jeopardy. First, he must go to the mairie in Lorac to register himself as the new proprietor. Monsieur le Maire must sign and stamp the document. Half an hour later, he has the vital piece of paper. Armed with that, Nigel drives to the Regional Chamber of Commerce just outside the local big town of Aubenas. Here, the official registration must be authenticated. Without that, he can't begin trading, and the restaurant can't open. Nigel had assumed all along that this would be a simple formality.
So that must be it then?
It's an absolutely bewildering disaster. They've given me this is the new list of everything they need, and I've got everything except conclure un contrat de mariage, copier de contract, ou copier de jugement de divorce. Now, this is absolutely unbelievable. In order to register at this place, I've had to give my father's place of birth and date of birth, which miraculously I happen to know. They also wanted my mother's maiden name, which I also happen to know, oddly enough. But incredibly, in order to register here, it says an extract d'acte de marriage, so either your marriage certificate, or if your marriage is concluded, conclue un contract de marriage, a copy of the contract or a copy of the judgment to divorce. So basically they want my divorce papers. Without the divorce paper...
What does that mean then?
Without the divorce papers, I can't get registered here. If I'm not registered here, I can't sign any cheques. And without any cheques, I can't buy anything. And we open in 3 days' time. Could be that judgment to divorce.
Have you got the divorce papers to hand?
Of course I don't have the divorce papers to hand. I mean, how many people travel around the world with their divorce papers?
Nigel contacts friends in England to try to track down his divorce papers as soon as possible.
Well, I've just been up to the Chamber of Commerce, and they want my divorce, the papers, can you believe, of my divorce settlement. Well, I'm trying to track down my son, Tom. He's got a key to my flat in Farnham, and if I can find him, I don't even know where he is, I haven't spoken to him for about a week, but if I can find him, if he can get in and send the papers by express post or overnight delivery or whatever, I should be able to get them back up here in time for Saturday.
Tomorrow, the elephant Nigel and Reza have borrowed from a circus owner from Provence will be arriving in Lorac. The idea is to parade it through the streets to publicise L'été Indien, and Nigel and Sally Ann are asking one of Christiane's friends to help prepare a blanket to go on the elephant's back.
Oui.
Et pour vous, parce que le temps est pressé.
5 minutes. Demi-heure.
Demi-heure ici, and demi-heure ici.
Where are the saris?
I don't know, darling.
Because I know I've got these costumes for tomorrow's elephant parade.
Reza's brought over a large selection of Indian costumes for everyone to wear for tomorrow's parade.
This is Nigel's one. What do you think?
I found
That's a
Nigel
shirt.
one
This is for me?
Yeah,
like
for
it.
good.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
That
that's
is gorgeous.
Yeah, you should. Oh, that's.
No.
Oh, Mama.
Can I not wear just like this?
No.
Better on me.
I don't know, I think you need pants. Look at those. Look at this. Talk about big
Who are those for?
having a...
That's what they do, you see. That's what they do.
I hope everybody's going to be looking at the elephant, and
I think
we're
that
going to be
would
following
actually-
behind,
That's
distributing
lovely.
leaflets,
That's
and I think
lovely.
providing we look vaguely
That's
Indian,
lovely.
at least
Actually,
not
that's stunning,
French.
actually. This would be lovely.
The bigger problem is the question of the accreditation at the Chamber of Commerce, because I'm still waiting for my divorce papers. If I don't get those tomorrow, it'll be a disaster.
This is really pretty too.
First thing next morning sees the arrival of Baby the elephant just outside Lorac.
Les fortunés ne sont jamais gênés, si les pauvres gens, hélas, n'ont pas d'argent.
And already he's attracting some attention.
Que tous nous avons, c'est la plus grande chose, l'amour est son nom. L'amour, il est à tout le monde, il fait sa ronde depuis qu'il fait jour. L'amour est à tout le monde, il vagabonde sans arrêt.
Back at the restaurant, everyone possible has been press gang to help with a publicity drive.
Yes, you need to put the spot on, don't we?
Smells so good.
Where did this come from?
From Bombay?
It's very fine stitching, isn't it? Look at this.
This looks very nice as well.
Yeah, this is Reza stuff.
Very
What do you think?
Very nice, okay, Trishy. Da, 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 da.
Are you a man, not your wife?
Viens. Baby hier, ganz auf. Pass auf. Hier. Baby strong.
Local television and radio stations have been invited along to cover the day's events in Lorac, as well as the local press.
Le dauphin? Super. Super. Oui, super.
Reza, enchanté.
Vous êtes originaire de quel pays?
Where do you come from?
Oh, originally from London. I was born in London.
Don't start giggling. Now, this is a serious
Oh, no,
interview.
sorry, I know.
This is the press, okay? Meet the press.
Okay. Londres, but my family are originally from India. So
Originaire d'Inde, bien sûr, mais il est né à Londres.
D'accord. Yeah.
The elephant has arrived in the village.
Where's my rose petals? Where are the sweets? Where are everything?
I know where your rose petals are.
I need to...
After the break, can Nigel and Reza pull off the PR stunt that could transform their fortunes?
I'm in the middle of France on an elephant.
Nigel and Reza have borrowed an elephant to parade through their village of Lorac in a last-minute attempt to publicise the restaurant and get some bookings. It's normally a pretty quiet and sleepy place, but Baby's arrival is already creating a good deal of interest.
Always get it wrong, don't you? That's an African elephant, not an Indian elephant.
Is it?
Yeah,
it's eating the flipping trees.
Actually, it's a very pretty elephant.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Gosh, what have you done? You're supposed to get Indian elephant, not African elephant. Well, it's not quite authentic.
You are a real nitpicker. You're a real nitpicker, aren't you?
You're going to speak to...
I have worked really hard to find an elephant, right, in France. There aren't many elephants in France, and now you're complaining that it's the wrong bloody elephant.
Nigel, they know we've arrived in the Ardèche now, you know that. The Indians
are
coming, the Indians are here.
So are you happy about the fact this is an African elephant?
It doesn't matter, we have an elephant. I don't give a damn.
Baby can't resist attacking the Mary's carefully planted and nurtured street side trees.
Mary comes here, you're in big trouble. In fact, I am.
Yeah, we don't want the local TV to hear about this. Listen, what I'll do is I'll go and explain to the Mary. I will go and explain to the Mary.
Because I mean, we need to.
I had no idea he was going to start. Because it looks as though he's turning a bit violent.
It could.
I mean, if it pulls down one of these trees, I'm in dead trouble because we've not got permission for this.
Exactly.
You haven't got a license.
We haven't got permission for it. Well, you know all the hassle. I didn't bother with the bureaucracy. You know what
In fact, Reza is quite experienced handling elephants from his school days in India and manages to lure Baby away from doing any more damage.
Darling, you're not going to believe it, but I am on an elephant, my dear. You are not going to believe this.
Yeah. Baby, no.
I'm in the middle of France on an elephant.
Baby turns out to be a huge success. And such is the interest in the opening of the first Indian restaurant in the Ardèche that Nigel and Nippy start asking people to come round to Lete Andian tomorrow for drinks in preparation for the official opening the day after.
Depuis quelques millions d'années où il devait y avoir des mammouths, ça doit être le premier éléphant qui se promène dans le village.
Final stop is the restaurant itself for a local newspaper photo session, which they hope will bring in curious customers from all over the Ardèche Mountains.
Everybody wave! Everybody wave! Everybody wave!
Already, dozens of people have said they'll be calling round for drinks when they throw open the doors of the restaurant tomorrow. It could become quite a party. But for Nigel, there's still that unresolved bureaucratic nightmare.
Listen, about the divorce papers.
No.
It's Tom.
Well, Tom's posted.
But you've...
I was hoping they'd arrive overnight tonight and haven't. I'm just a bit worried that if the others realise the significance of this,
There's enough going on there
there's enough
to worry about.
Exactly. It'll arrive tomorrow, I'm sure.
You want all the sweeties, they're for the children. You need it. You deserve it. You're such a good... How many sweets are you? God, you can't eat any more sweets. No more. That's it. No.
First thing next morning, there's some good news for Nigel. His son has located the vital divorce papers in Nigel's flat in England and sent them over by express post.
Order shot in Farnham County Court on the 9th of May 2002. Great. Rez!
Oh, you have?
Fantastic.
Oh, brilliant. Well done.
So I'm going to go straight up there and grab my bag and go for it.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, good luck.
45 minutes later, Nigel's back at the Chamber of Commerce to complete his registration.
Well, if this doesn't work, I'm emigrating to a remote area of South America. Well, I've got the certificate.
10 minutes later, and Nigel's putting through a desperate call to his lawyer in Lyon.
But it's got the stamp on it and everything. Is there no way, even if I bike it up to you? Right. Okay, merci.
Not another problem.
Well, I thought we were almost there. What they've now said is that this is an English legal document and it has to be translated. And signed, both copies, French and English copies, signed by my lawyer. Can't be anybody else.
What, to authenticate them?
Yeah. So I can't think of anything else to do but kind of go and explain it to them and throw myself on their mercy, really. I mean, this has sort of got beyond a joke.
Nigel explains that he simply can't get the translation completed and signed in time for the opening, and that without the registration form, the restaurant won't be able to function.
Breathe in slowly.
He's in danger of going out of business before he's even started.
Basically, what's happened is they said, fine, we understand, and we want to encourage business, and we want to encourage visitors, and this is the Chamber of Commerce for not only Aubenas, but for Privas and La Jontière. And the last thing they want to do is to stop us opening. So she said the simplest, I'm going to say this slowly because I want you to enjoy it, the simplest thing to do is to just say I'm single.
You're joking.
Which is what she's done. And I'm now registered. Why she didn't say this to start with when I originally explained it, I don't know. But we are now registered. I can now sign checks. Tomorrow I can pick up the certificate. No wonder this place is always empty. Nobody wants to go through the sheer torture of trying to get anything done. Why would you want to get anything done? Oh no, nothing ever gets done. We close at 12, we open at 3. The siesta, we're closed on bank holidays. We're closed on the day before a bank holiday, because that's what you do. You're closed on the day after a bank holiday, because that's what you do. And then you don't open the next day, because the next day is the day before the weekend. And what is the point in opening the day before the weekend?
At last, things are beginning to look up at L'été Indien. So many people have said they'll call round for the drinks party this evening that the chefs have decided to make a selection of Indian foods for the guests to sample. And someone even knows an Indian dancer who's agreed to come along. Better still, the coverage in the local paper is bigger than anyone had imagined.
Nigel, regarde ça. C'est superbe. Ah, everybody's on.
They've used the picture outside the restaurant. That's a fantastic, because you can actually see Lorelei Fleury on the screen.
That's so lovely.
It's quite a huge page.
The Saison du Lorelei Fleury à l'Orac.
A true restaurant Indian.
I mean, the elephant, there's a huge amount of effort and time and money. It had to come from miles away. But this is the kind of advertising you can't buy. We could have spent a fortune on advertising and never get this kind of coverage.
You do think that people will come in because of that article?
I mean, I just don't know the French mentality. I don't know how the French, you know, how they make their bookings. According to Christiane, they don't book, they just pitch up.
Well, they read about it and probably we'll get some reservations tomorrow.
So, after 6 weeks of frantic preparation, all now seems ready and in place. The restaurant is fully equipped, properly staffed, and now even the final improved menu is ready to be picked up from the printers. A selection of 3 starters, a simple choice of 3 main courses and desserts. A set meal of €25, about £17, and at last the locals have started to pick up the telephone.
Nigel, you're not going to believe it.
What?
We got our first booking.
You're joking.
4 people at 8:30, Mr. Taduli.
4 people, what time on Tuesday?
8:30. Yeah.
Where's it written down? Can you show me? Because we get...
So nice, you must be very pleased.
Absolutely, I'm delighted. I mean, it's not exactly going to solve all our financial worries, but at least somebody has started to take an interest. And obviously, in an enterprise like this, word of mouth is hugely important. So even if it's just 4 people for the first night, if we give them a really good time, hopefully they will spread the word. And
This is your first reservation, darling.
this is a historical moment.
We must offer them the drinking, you know.
Absolutely, but not a free meal.
Yes. Taduni, and the number of the people is 4.
4 people.
All the way along, Nippy has been sceptical about Nigel and Reza's chances of success with the restaurant. Never known for his optimism, now with less than 48 hours to the opening and only one firm booking, Nippy's becoming more and more convinced the enterprise is doomed.
I'm extremely concerned about this whole project. I think French are very proud of their own cuisine. And for them to accept another one, especially in a small place such as this, it's going to take a long time. And I'm not sure whether he has the time.
You mean Nigel hasn't put in enough time?
Or the money to sustain it. Reza panics.
Yeah.
He's panicking all the time.
A drama queen.
Do you know, man, Nigel has no idea about this trade?
Nigel is not...
I mean, I know he hardly has ideas about anything, but I mean, restaurant, he has no idea. Especially Indian restaurant.
I think he's swimming under the water. Pour mercredi. Oui, un moment, s'il vous plaît.
What's happening, Nigel?
We've got to book him for Wednesday. Okay, don't worry. Sal, I'll put it on the thing. Okay, mercredi.
Okay, where are we?
Dans le soir. 8 heures. This pen doesn't work. Excusez-moi un moment.
It's a mess around there in Lorac.
Friends are lending a hand getting the place ready for tonight's party.
So are you on schedule, Reza?
No, I'm not.
It's a bit fraught. No one knows how many people will turn out. But everyone's hoping the party will result in a dramatic increase in bookings.
So how many bookings have we got for the week now?
12.
God, that's not enough.
I know, but
it's terrible.
I know. You know what she said? It'll be fine. Nippy's done the leaflet drop-in at all the tourist centres.
Yeah, but Nigel, it's not good enough. I am absolutely worried because the problem we've got now is that the cost of this food, if we don't get the bookings and we don't get the covers, you know, you're going to make a loss. I'm more concerned about your business here.
Yeah,
and this
don't forget it's your money too.
Yeah, but
Listen, I think, look, Christian says it's all going to be fine, and we've got 12 for next week.
Okay, but it's still not enough.
I know, but it's a start.
Yeah, I know, but it's not enough.
And presumably, I realise it's not enough. It's nowhere near enough.
We'd be making a loss. We may as well close up now.
A lot depends on tonight. The hard truth is that if they can't average a minimum of 27 meals a day, they'll be out of business within the month. In the next programme, the relationship between Nippy and Nigel is strained to breaking point.
And you said the Ardèchois are not ready for Indian food. And
no, I never said that.
And you didn't want to put your money in unguaranteed. You did. Yes, you did. So I had to find somebody else to do it.
No, you're making excuses now.
On the surface, the party seems to get going with a swing. But beneath the bonhomie, the problems between Nigel and Celine are coming to a head.
Why? Because I'm too old?
I'm so young.
So what? Is that important?
Read Nigel and Reza's account of their experience in the book A Place in France, An Indian Summer, price £7.99. To order, call 0870 1234 344 or click onto channel4.com/shop.